Let's go 15-0, Team Shadow Girafarig, Part 2. Alright, so, as you can see, we did the first 8 battles, but this one I'm going to be showing the other 7 battles, and then the battle that finally broke my win streak. It's going to be Registeel leading against a Lickitung, not the most favorable matchup for them, so they switched over to their Tentacruel. I switched over to my Shadow Girafarig to farm down. We get the defense drop after going for a Psychic Fang. They're going to use Ice Spray. I don't know why I did that, but either way, I'm glad that I did because I mainly wanted to preserve. So I shielded both of the Acid Sprays because I wanted to have the switch advantage. For whatever reason, my gut was telling me. Mainly because I just knew that, like, if I did go for, like, if I was locked in, they're going to switch after I bring in Registeel. Look at that, see? That's why. Because if I lost that switch advantage, I would have brought in Registeel, they would bring in Swampert, and then I had to switch to Trevenant, and then they'd see that I switched to Trevenant, and they'd bring in Lickitung, and then I would be screwed because I would get farmed down. It would have been the opposite direction. So, because they won that switch advantage, they knew I got them, they threw the match. So anyway, Granbull comes in here for the lead. Oh, this is like kind of deja vu-ish, because I had Granbull in as a lead in another battle. So for whatever reason, they're staying in, over-farming, most likely going for double close combat. I'm going to go ahead and just keep Registeel in. Whew, they're doing a lot of charm pressure for it not being shadow boosted. So we go for Zap Cannon, they burn both of their shields. They're going to go ahead and go for the close combat, and I just figured, what the heck, let's preserve here. They went for Crunch, which kind of threw me off. Anyway, Stunfisk is going to come in. I'm going to go for the Focus Blast here. I think that they were going to try to catch, but like I've done enough battles to know when someone's going to switch. So I played conservative, waited for them to switch, went for the Focus Blast. They go for the Earthquake on my Trevenant. I'm going to farm down the Stunfisk, and then back in comes, actually not back in, it's just straight up a Skarmory coming in. We're going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball here, put it in the yellow. And then after that, since I know that Trevenant is going to go down here, I'm going to fire off Seed Bomb to do some chip damage, bring in Registeel to soak the Sky Attack, and then have Girafarig come in to clean up afterwards. So yeah, now that we did that, I was able to charm down the Skarmory, go for a Psychic Fang onto the Granbull, and oh yeah, they switched afterwards, and then just Confusion down after that onto the Skarmory. Alright, so now next up it's going to be Registeel leading against Altaria. We're going to go ahead and just shield this Sky Attack, which is what they're obviously going to do, and then I'm going to follow it up with Zap Cannon. I kind of overcharged here because I was anticipating them to switch, so instead of just like using the wrong move at the wrong time, I just waited to see if they were going to stay in. They did commit to stay in, so with that said, they're going to be using Dragon Breath and Sky Attack spam to try and farm down my Registeel. I'm just going to keep hitting it with Zap Cannons, and if we let one go through, which they did, I'm going to switch right away, which I did. So, just so I can get the energy lead while farming down the Altaria. They go for the Sky Attack, down goes the Altaria, and then I have a sufficiently charged Trevenant. I go for the Shadow Ball thinking that I'm going to bait, thinking that they think I'm going to bait with Seed Bomb. Didn't work. They're going to go for Ice Punch here. I'm going to shield it. And then after that, I'm going to anticipate a switch, which is what happened. And I'm just like, oh, a Trevenant. Thank you. So I just go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball here. Down goes the Trevenant. And now all that's left is the Medicham. I switched to Registeel so that it would eat this next charge attack, which is most likely Ice Punch. There we go. They farm us down with counter. I bring in Trevenant. Go for the Seed Bomb here. And then I just brought in, I think I bring in Girafarig. No, I don't. Girafarig didn't get any play in that battle. Sorry, everyone. But Girafarig was there just to watch on the sideline. It's going to be another Altaria lead. This is like the most common lead that I've seen this season. I've seen nothing but Altarias leading, like, most of the time. Anyway, they got me there on the switch in. They switched to Swampert to catch that Zap Cannon. Took out a good chunk of its health. So I switched over to Trevenant because, I mean, come on. You know I would switch to Trevenant. Who wouldn't? Anyway, they go for the double Hydro Cannon. I try to over-farm here, which succeeds, and now I have a fully charged Trevenant for whatever comes in. Go for the Shadow Ball onto the Altaria. They let it go through. Try to go for a Seed Bomb, but Altaria is going to go for a Sky Attack for whatever reason. I chose to shield because I want to go for another Shadow Ball. Before I let Trevenant go down, I burned their shield here after they shielded that first one. Or did not shield the first one. They switch over to a Azumarill. And then here we're going to see a nice little standoff between Shadow Girafarig. You're actually going to see how well Girafarig can handle a Azumarill. They go for the Play Rough. I tank it no problem. Go for the Psychic Fang spam just because I was skeptical about them like shielding the Thunderbolt. So instead of going for the Thunderbolt, I just went for Psychic Fang spam. Either way, that would have turned out in my favor anyway. So anyway, go for another Psychic Fang on the Altaria. They're gonna shield it, and then after that, they're gonna finish off my Shadow Girafarig, hit it with a Sky Attack. In comes Registeel. We're gonna go ahead and go for the Focus Blast, just because I didn't want to risk. I mean, I didn't want to risk it, but come on, what are they gonna use? Anyway, on to the next battle. It's gonna be Coffergigas, whatever it is, leading against Registeel. And I'm just going to go ahead and anticipate a switch here. But they're going to go for Shadow Ball. Since I knew it was going to be Shadow Ball, I wanted to make them go for another Shadow Ball by shielding that one so that they have no choice but to do that. And then comes the Zap Cannon. And then after that, they get the attack stat drop. Oh yeah, that's the other reason. I'd rather shield the first Shadow Ball when their attack is at an all-time high. Because if they get the attack stat drop, I can tank the second one, no problem. So yeah, I finished it up. Coffergigas by switching in Trevenant, go for the Seed Bomb onto the Tentacruel. That's going to be their answer to my Trevenant. They're going to use Acid Spray and let it go through because I knew it was going to be Acid Spray because Tentacruel's moveset is Poison Jab, Acid Spray, and Scald. Anyway, go for another Seed Bomb here. They farm me down with the Poison Jab minus 2 defense. They're going to go ahead and go for Acid Spray yet again. I let it go through. I was worried about the Scald, but I'm glad that I just let it go through. In comes the Psychic Fang onto the Buzzwole. We're just going to go ahead and try to get it. Oh, so that put me in a bad spot. But either way, I'm just going to go ahead and shield up here. They go for the Lunge. I'm going to survive it. Go for the Focus Blast. And then that's going to go ahead and take out the Buzzwole. And then we farm down the Tentacruel with lock-on damage. Woo! Alright, on to the next battle. It's going to be Stunfisk going up against... what's it called? Registeel. I'm going to be mindful of the Earthquake, so I switched to Trevenant to try to catch it if it was an Earthquake. They go for Rock Slide, and then I'm just going to keep my Trevenant in because I don't really have a choice. I'm just wondering why they didn't switch. Anyway, they go for the Earthquake here. I'm going to go ahead and go for Shadow Ball spam. It's going to connect. There we go. I feel like I'm getting deja vu. Like, have I faced this team sometime else tonight? Anyway, go for the Focus Blast. Down goes that. And then in comes Medicham. I seriously had to go back and check to see if I didn't run duplicates because I faced this exact same team and it's playing out the exact same way. But yeah, I checked the file naming, and it's like different team or same team concept but different battle. So I'm like freaking out here thinking I'm running a duplicate. Anyway, Medicham goes for Ice Punch, switches to Azumarill. I go ahead and go for the Thunderbolt onto the Azumarill. There we go. Alright, and now we just keep the confusion pressure on the Azumarill. Down goes Medicham. We farm down for the win. Alright, now next up we're up against Chewy. It's Registeel leading against an Azumarill. Ah, that's different. Anyway, in comes... What is that? I can't see through the lock-on. Looking at it. Oh, it's Sableye. That's why it's so tiny. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and go for Zap Cannon spam. There's the first Zap Cannon. Get the attack stat drop. Sableye's going to go ahead and try to farm down or farm up towards a foul play, but it's -1 attack, so I don't really have to worry as much about the foul plays. They're going to go ahead and go for another one. I'm going to let it go through. Puts me in the red. I'm going to go ahead and go for Focus Blast just because I'm anticipating a shield here. And if it doesn't, then oh well. So anyway, we're able to get one more Focus Blast off before we let Registeel go down. Boom. Now down goes the Reggie. In comes Trevenant. We're going to have to anticipate Rock Slides here. Rock Slide 1's going to go through, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and let Rock Slide 2 go through. Puts us in the red. They're going to switch over to Azumarill, so I'm going to switch right over to Girafarig just to go for Psychic Fang spam here. I could go for the Thunderbolt, but I'm just really skeptical. You know what? I did go for the Thunderbolt. Are they going to shield it? The one time I go for Thunderbolt, they shield. How about that? How about that? I don't know. Sometimes I think it's a robot that I'm facing on the other side, but what can we do? Anyway, Azumarill going to go ahead and take out Girafarig. We're going to farm down here, and then we're going to follow that up with Shadow Ball 1, since we're able to get enough extra energy just to put us over that hump, and then we go for Seed Bomb number 1 to finish off the Stunfisk for the win. And then now finally, here's the battle that I lost, and I lost in a very stupid way. Anyway, in comes Stunfisk. There we go. I go for the Focus Blast onto it. They shield it, predictably so. I'm thinking that they're going to go for Rock Slide, so I just let it go through. Boom! Puts me in a bad spot. I switch to Trevenant. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can redeem this. Maybe I can redeem it. So there's the Rock Slide on the Trevenant. I don't know. You guys can say in the comments, like, just pretty much critique me on this one. I go for the Shadow Ball onto the Stunfisk, and then after that, I'm going to shield here to protect protect my Trevenant just in case there's a Swampert in the back. Altaria comes in. I follow that up with a Shadow Ball onto the Altaria. There we go. And then after that, I get Farm Down, and that's going to give them a head start on Sky Attack damage. And then I switch to Girafarig just because I realize that they're getting too much energy. And then they go for Sky Attack 1 on Girafarig, Sky Attack 2. I'm in a bad spot, and then that was pretty much game. But yep, there's my 15-0 win streak for the season. So I think that's about as good as it's going to get for win streaks. But yeah, that's a good start. Thanks for watching, everyone. 15-0.